In this video, there's Zelda. Zelda, come here. Come here, cuddle. Cuddle. Zelda, cuddle pup. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, cuddle. Zelda, cuddle. Are you gonna cuddle or not? Are you gonna cuddle? Cuddle pup, come here. Are you trying to be YouTube famous now? Anyway, in this video, I want to talk to you guys about how I planned out Maron and I's honeymoon to Costa Rica, how we decided on Costa Rica, and a few things like that, where I booked our tour through, and yeah. So, as soon as I get Zelda settled, Zelda, go get your dad. Go get your dad. Go get Maron. So, anyway, before I got distracted, Maron and I decided to go to Costa Rica, so we are going in January. That's going to be during the dry season, so hopefully it'll be really nice, beachy weather. It may be like in the 90s, so it might be pretty hot, but we decided to go to Costa Rica. We waited to go on our honeymoon, so we got married back in September, but we waited till things kind of settled down with his work, and so we could take a good, a chunk of time to go wherever we wanted on our honeymoon. Now, we did talk about going to Hawaii, but we decided against Hawaii because Maron got to looking at Costa Rica. I love Costa Rica. I went 10 years ago when I was in high school, and he looked it up and he was like, wow, there's a lot of biodiversity and animals and plants and flora and fauna and all that kind of stuff. And so he was like, well, I was trying to get him to go with Costa Rica, and he's like, well, I really think it'd be great, And another thing with that is, you think of Hawaii, a lot of inclusive resorts. Now, Maron and I are going to go on a tour, and actually in the beginning when I was looking through everything, I thought it was going to be like a group tour, but it's actually like a private tour, which I think is really cool. So it's just going to be me and Maron. The company that we're going through, I will link everything down below that I did, basically, hopefully, if I remember. But whatever your group size is that you sign up with, that's how big your group's going to be. So you're not going to be with other random people you don't know, which I think that's kind of fun sometimes, though. But anyway, it's just going to be me and Maron. As long as there's at least 2 of you, then there's not an extra charge. If there was just 1 of you, you have to pay like the single price, which, if you're going on a cruise or wherever on a trip, they always have that extra surcharge if you're a 1 person. But anyway, I ended up booking, because I did it all, through Tour Radar, which is a company. I will link my little promo code down below, and I'll tell you guys about that later. But so far everything's gone really well through them. They are a company based in, I think their headquarters is in like Austria, so it's like European. And another thing to look for when you book through them or through any company, or if you're in any foreign country, I mean, your debit card or credit card can charge you that foreign transaction fee, which I didn't even know that was a thing. But after I booked, I saw this random charge. I was like, somebody stole my card. When actually it was because it was booked through a foreign company. And so your card charges that. I don't know if all cards do that. Mine was MasterCard. Maybe Visa doesn't. Maybe they do. But it was only 1% charge, so it wasn't that bad. I was just like, where did this charge come from? I was like, well, somebody stole my card. They'd probably charge a lot more than $20. Anyway, so I ended up booking through Tour Radar. I saw a lot of different Costa Rican tours, and like I said before, I thought it was going to be a group tour. It's just going to be me and Maron. But the tour we went with was called the Eco Adventure Tour, in the company that it's through. So we bought it through Tour Radar, but it's actually through a local Costa Rican company. They're a pretty young company. I think they were founded in like 2008 by a local like Costa Rican guy, him and another guy, and so they've grown since then, obviously. But I've watched some of their YouTube videos, and kind of read up on their company, and I think everything's going to go good. Hopefully it does. I'll make another video after we get back and tell you guys everything, how it went, if I'd recommend, you know, them as a company, but so far I would. But with Tour Radar, everything went really well with booking. They say to book your tour and then book your flight, but because we're kind of on a short timeline, I had been talking to the Costa Rican company on Facebook, back and forth through Messenger. So I went ahead and booked our flights first. Another thing I recommend that you do is download the app. I think it's called like Hopper or something like that. It tracks flights. So if your flight's going to go up or down in price, they kind of know based on what the price has been before, years past, I guess, around that time frame, how many days out you are from when you need to go, months, whatever. If it's expected to go up, if it's expected to go down, or they're like, well, this isn't a very good price, but you're not going to get any better, basically. So we ended up booking our flights. Now, we could have got them cheaper if I would have booked them the day before, and maybe if I would have booked them months before, but we didn't decide yet. And if I would have booked them the day before, I think they would have been about $50 cheaper. We're paying a little less than $700 a piece, which isn't too bad, I think, for, you know, international flight. We have a, what's it, layover in Texas, Houston, something like that. But overall, the flight is a pretty short flight. There was a lot of overnight flights, which I really wasn't, you know, too keen on. Some of them were in the 500s, but I really didn't want to spend overnight in some random airport before we got there. So I was talking back and forth with the Costa Rican company that we're actually doing our tour through, and I was like, hey, you know, the flights are the cheapest this day to this day, which was actually 1 day longer than when the tour would get done. So I said, is there any way we can add a day? And he's like, oh yeah, it's no problem, you know, Pura Vida. He like wrote every message was like Pura Vida at the end, which I thought was kind of cute. But that's what Costa Rican saying, pure life. But anyway, he was really nice. He said, yeah, we can add another day. So we had a little bit of issues figuring that out with like pricing and stuff like that, because it was actually through Tour Radio and not through their own company. But we ended up getting everything to work out. But anyway, with that, so we added an extra day at Samara Beach. So I'm pretty excited about having extra day at the beach. It was just another accommodation day. There wasn't any extra charges besides that, because we didn't decide to do anything. If we do decide, we can add it on, you know, there. Just kind of go off on our own, I guess, and not part of like the package. But anyway, the trip, so each of our flights were about $700, and then the trip itself, the tour, I guess, was about $1,200 a person. Now, because you can book with Tour Radar, and if you guys want to, you can use my code. I'll use it down below. I use just some random persons, or I'll get to that. I tried to use some random persons, but because they made the tour specifically for Maron and I, with that extra day, it wouldn't let me apply the promotional code, which is just like 5% off. So I was like, dang, I really wish I can get that 5% off. That's kind of why I went through Tour Radar, because you can get credits to use on your next trip. And also you can get a % off by using someone else's like code. So I was like, dang, I really wish, and me being the ballsy person I am, in my old age, never would have done this before, but I just like messaged Tour Radar. They have a little like chat with whoever, you know, down below in a little chat box. And I was like trying to talk to them like, hey, this company, you know, everything's working really well so far, but they did a specific tour for Maron and I with another day added. Is there any way I can use this code? Because it won't let me edit a code. And she's like, oh, well, what code are you trying to use? So I gave her the code. She said it wouldn't work, which it would work for me when I tried to put it in if it was like a different tour. But for this one, since it was a specific one, it wouldn't let me edit it. And I was like, I'm trying to use this one. She's like, oh, it won't work. And then she messaged me back and she's like, well, actually, I can use this code and it's 4%. And I was like, hey, 4%'s better than 0%, so I will take it. So we got another 4% off. So ending up, what did it cost? 20 with the extra day, 23, 22, I think it was like 2,300, something like that. So that's the extra day, and with a discount. So I think it's a pretty good deal. Now, it isn't an all-inclusive resort. It is a tour. We are going to be going to different countries. Different cities within the country. We're going to San Jose. We're going to Monteverde. We're going to the Arenal Volcano. We're going whitewater rafting. We're going zip lining. We're going to the beach, and we're ending up back in San Jose. So we're really kind of making a nice old little circle, kind of get everything in there. And all that includes all those extra trips, or the travel, the the vehicle to take us there. We don't have a vehicle, but all those like zip lining, all that stuff. And there is a few meals included, mostly breakfast, and then a couple lunches, and I think like one dinner. But for the most part, it seems like Costa Rican food's pretty reasonable, especially if you go to little mom and pop shops called like sodas. That's just kind of like local restaurants. That seems to be pretty cheap there. You know, they're rice and beans, beans and rice, rice and beans. I remember that when we went to Costa Rica in high school. I like made up a song about rice and beans because that's, you know, the typical Costa Rican meal. Anyway, so overall I'm really excited about going. I think everything's gonna go well. I really hope so. I will definitely make another video once we get back with all the cool footage about everything that happened, and if I would recommend going on this specific tour, if I would recommend using this company, if I'd recommend using Tour Radar, which so far I do. Like I said, I'll put my link down below if you guys want to book a tour through them. There are, you know, worldwide. They have tours in any place you'd ever want to go. And so I think it's pretty reasonable, especially because we're going to be, you know, going here, there, and everywhere in Costa Rica. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, please comment down below. I will try to answer them. But I want to make some cool videos when I'm down there. So hopefully that works out and I can get some good footage of all different kind of wildlife and animals and all that kind of stuff. And that's why we're going there, not Hawaii. Because of like the great biodiversity, and because I was like, Maron, I'd really like to go there. No. He knew I would. He knew I did, but he was like he was really set on Hawaii because he really likes Hawaii. Even though last time he went, he was like 2. But you know, I think this is, you know, comparable to Hawaii, but yet we're really going to be out and like in the wilderness and doing all these kind of fun adventure things where a lot of Hawaii is, like I said, you know, all-inclusive resorts, and that's kind of more what you think of with honeymoon stuff. But we're going on a more adventure honeymoon, not just a regular old run-of-the-mill all-inclusive resort cruise honeymoon. So we got to be different. But thank you guys for watching. Check out some of my other Costa Rica videos I make if it's the ones I've already went, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.